Welcome to Reading for Idiots, the messiest corner of the literary world, where we dive into the accursed canon of human literary endeavor to find out if it's actually genius or just literary hazing. Now, today's book might actually be both. I could not wait to read this book. I remember all those years ago when I watched the film for the first time, and I was just like, what is happening? Man, the thing is, I'm a sensitive reader. Like, I end up adopting as my mood the general mood of the book. And so, well, let's just say this book put me in a really dark place. American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis is the closest a book has come to making me want to tap out, and I loved every moment of it. Compared to the film, it is way better, and it is also way more disturbing and fucked up. And the thing is, the film is still good. Like, I watched it immediately after I finished the book. And for me, the central question of the book is, well, I guess it's who are you? Like, if we strip away the consumerism from us that surrounds us, right? We strip away everything that's essentially replaceable, like our clothes, our musical opinions, our food preferences, all of those things. Say we take those things away. What's left? Who are you? And equally, who are your friends? Who are the closest people in your lives? Like, after you strip away everything that's replaceable about them, right? All of that consumerism, paraphernalia, you strip all of that away. Who are they really? Who are they to you? Are they ultimately replaceable? Are they even real? Anyway, welcome to my no-spoiler review of the cocaine mirror maze that is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis.
Like, share,
I have all the characteristics of a human being. Flesh, blood, skin, hair. But not a single clear, identifiable emotion, except for greed and disgust.
One of the common critiques I hear about this book is that it's boring. And look, I totally get it. Bret Easton Ellis literally just catalogs stuff. Like a catalog. The brands, the suits, the cosmetics, what they eat, what they wear, like everything. It's just lists. It's kind of like talking to that one friend of yours, that really boring friend that only ever talks about what they want to buy or what they have just bought. You know who I mean, right? But that's kind of the whole point of American Psycho. Like, it's the setting of it. The purpose of these repetitions is to, like, flatten reality and flatten all the different identities of the characters and just blur, obscure, obfuscate the meaning. For example, that infamous Patrick Bateman morning routine scene, right? In the book, it is literally pages long. And it's not just that either. Every time a character is introduced to a scene, not introduced for the first time, but to a scene, we get an exhaustive breakdown of what they're wearing. Like, if they have a necklace or an earring or a suit jacket or a shirt or a tie or trousers, how it's cut, the brand name, how they smell, and if they're sitting down for a meal, what they order, what they ordered last time, what they're drinking. It is a lot. Plus, there are entire chapters dedicated to careers of musicians. You know, like that scene where what's his name? Jared Leto gets murdered, right?
The whole album has a clear, crisp sound and a new sheen of consummate professionalism that really gives the songs a big boost.
whole chapters dedicated to that in the book. And it reads like a review does in a magazine. But the strange thing is that it's all first person. It's all narrated by Bateman. And it just gave me this impression that Bateman has no idea how to behave, has no idea how to be human. And he's just kind of like aping at it by copying the things he consumes. And as I said earlier, these things are meant to be boring on purpose. It's a stylistic choice, but I don't know what it is. Maybe the fact that we're living in this social media charged 2025 world, I just found it all super fascinating. Because like in 1991, Bret Easton Ellis was describing the beginning of a trend, something that he saw, but in 2025, we are as a society deep in the trenches of it. You know what I mean? So I hope it's a social media 2025 thing and not just like a personal thing that I found all of this supposedly boring stuff fascinating, because man, I don't want to be like Patrick Bateman, but God, I don't know what's worse, living in a society that Bateman lives in and allows someone like Bateman to live, or being Patrick Bateman. Actually, now that we brought it up, the violence in American Psycho, well, first of all, it is way more violent than the film. But secondly, it is written in exactly the same way as the cataloging of what people wear or the description of musicians' careers. It is just a mundane retelling of these psychotic events. So the violence just kind of blends in with everything else because it's written in the same way. And the strange thing I found myself doing is I was like expecting the violence, like how you expect a train to come when you're at a train station. I just thought like it's normal, right? And there's a whole layer of commentary we can get into here about desensitization and the violence in culture and all of that. But what I found more interesting is Bateman really the monster, or is he just the inevitable product of living in a superficial society? And if we were to attribute blame, are we to blame Bateman? I mean, obviously he committed the murders, right? Are we to blame society for allowing someone like Bateman to exist? Or is it the people who just don't even care that all of this stuff is happening, i.e. us? Are we to blame?
There is an idea of a Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there is no real me, only an entity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
These characters don't have identities. They don't even have personalities. They are just outlines, silhouettes defined by their consumer choices, the shoes, their dress, their suit, their shirt, their tie, how they smell, what they order, what they drink. And everyone is constantly concerned about everybody else. They're always looking over their own shoulder or looking over somebody else's shoulder like, oh my God, is that Connor whatever the face? Or like, oh my God, is that Susan something Steen? And they're constantly gossiping. But the thing is, they can't even hold their names straight. They don't even know who they're talking about. Who are they? Hell, these characters even respond to the wrong name. Like if they're talking with someone and the person gets their name wrong, they don't correct it. They just carry on the conversation. And Bret Easton Ellis, on one level, plays it straight, but it is actually pretty fucking hilarious on another level, right? But the thing is, it's kind of frightening in an existential way because it creates this sense that all of the characters are just placeholders in the room they occupy, in society, in like your friendship group. They are just perfect mannequins for consumerism, for their Armani suit or their Hermes tie or their Rolex watch, you know? And Patrick literally signposted with this "I simply am not there" bit over and over and over in the book. Also, the characters do this hilarious thing where when they make reservations, they make it under somebody else's name. So when they don't turn up to the reservation, they don't get blacklisted, but the person whose name they used gets blacklisted. And I'm totally going to do that myself. But seriously, the book leans into this void of identity. Like, are we even real? Because are we? Or are we just our Instagram profiles or our, oh my God, can you imagine Patrick Bateman's LinkedIn profile? It would just say something like, Patrick Bateman, murders and executions. But getting back to the point, what if being a sociopath, what if becoming a sociopath isn't a deviation from the norm, but the inevitable outcome of the conditions we've created in our society? Oh my God, just look at LinkedIn psychopaths. These guys are nuts. Hilarious subreddit, by the way, but these guys are nuts. And say we strip away our soul from us, right? What's left? We strip away this metaphorical soul. What's left of us? It's just these replaceable things, right? Our watches, our clothes, our opinions, our gym routines. But it just makes me wonder, when individuals become invisible, does that mean that morality also becomes invisible too? Like the moral foundations of our society become invisible when the individual becomes invisible? Because then what's left? Nothing's real. Not consequences, not people, not even you.
So what do you do?
I'm into, murders and executions mostly.
This is not a sober book. Everything that happens in this book happens on something, whether it's cocaine, halcyon, Xanax, alcohol, a cigar. And these substances are as crucial as the socks the characters wear. And so everyone just kind of feels like they are happening on delay. And expanding that quote from earlier, I'm simply not there. Well, yeah, the characters, Bateman, the characters, they are not there because they're not living. It feels like they're just buffering. I mean, there are literally time skips, scenes repeat. They also abruptly start and end days, whole months and seasons disappear. By the way, all while Bret Easton Ellis is relentlessly cataloging stuff, including the substances that they take, and they take so much. I'm like, how are you even functioning? For example, say you have a scene of Patrick killing someone, and a few scenes along, you end up seeing Patrick having lunch with somebody else, and that somebody else said they had dinner the night before with the person Patrick just killed, and with all of these names and everybody getting everybody's name wrong, you're just like, what the hell is happening? Or Patrick wrecks a place, like absolutely destroys the place because he's doing his murderings with chainsaws and all of that, right? But then the next time you see Patrick in that place, the place is totally fine. So what the hell is happening? Is he hallucinating? Is this like a narcissist's fever dream? Or did it simply just not happen? Or worse, did it happen, but society does not even care and is helping cover up for Patrick? And that's the real horror of American Psycho. It's not the fucked up shit that Bateman does, and it's really, really fucked up. It's that ambiguity of did it even happen? Plus the silence and the general apathy, because these atrocities, they just vanish behind the surface level business cards and brunch reservations. And it sounds kind of familiar, right? And it's about to sound a hell of a lot worse, because I wonder, at what point does American Psycho stop being about what's happening, about what has happened, about the truth, and start being about all the things that can happen in a society that's so numb and so fake and so fundamentally broken that memories and hallucinations just blend in, right? I mean, ostensibly, the book is asking, did these murderings happen? But on a deeper level, what it's really asking us, the reader, is, do we even care that they're happening? Because if we don't care and we just allow people like Diddy to diddle away and get away with it, if this is the world we live in, one where we just let Diddy, for example, get away with it, are his victims even real? And then where does it end? Are we even real?
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Yeah, American Psycho is provocative, even deliberately provocative. Yes, it is frankly brilliant, but no, it's not fun. I mean, let me clarify. It was an enjoyable read, but it did nearly make me tap out. And the horror is not in the, the blood and the guts and the murderings. It's about how numb we get. And American Psycho really did fuck with my mind. And it's unbelievable how Bret Easton Ellis has achieved that. His genius is not in the creative displays of the murderings, but rather it's in showing us how numb we get to all of the gruesomeness. And he does it by weaponizing boredom and using beauty as a camouflage. And somewhere in the midst of all of that repetition and gloss, a deeper dread looms. I would say that American Psycho is not about Patrick Bateman. It's about a society that creates Patrick Batemans and just lets these Batemans run around and exist by turning a blind eye to the sick shit that they do. I mean, how familiar is that, right? And so fast forward to 2025, and what is Bateman's morning routine? Well, it's just another trending Instagram, TikTok reel. And Bateman's psychosis? Well, that's just a meme. That's just LinkedIn psychopaths fucking hustle porn. You know what I mean? And Bateman's deep inner void? Well, you can just rebrand that as some kind of Marie Kondo minimalism, can't you? How familiar is that? And reading American Psycho in 2025, well, it didn't so much feel for me as like a descent into that madness. It was more like a wake-up call, like, holy shit, we are already there, because we totally curate our lives differently to different people. Finstas, Rinstas, we ghost reality, we gloss through reality, we swipe past atrocities or like double tap them, and we're all in some way just quiet quitting, which is just like Bateman saying, I simply am not there. We're just checked out with our headphones in, and that's the psychotic trick that the book plays. We may not actually be the monsters, but we are certainly fluent in the language that created the monsters, right? We've traded ethics for aesthetics. We just smile while we're dying inside, and we tell ourselves we're okay with it. We have given all of that up, and what's even left of us? Are we even real?
Would you like to hear the specials? Not if you want to keep your spleen.
Bret Easton Ellis was born in LA in 1964, perfectly timed to encounter all of that excess and surface and rot. And plus, He's a Pisces like me. Yay, Pisces. He attended the schmancy Bennington College, where he actually started writing his first novel, Less Than Zero, that got published when he was only 21 years old in 1985, and it just blew him out of the water, and he got slapped with the label of prodigy. He became the poster boy for the literary brat pack that included people like Tama Yanovitz, Jay McInerney, Donna Tartt, basically hip young authors who are edgy and they all have media buzz and movie deals. To this day, I would say that Bret Easton Ellis's most famous, infamous work is American Psycho. His publisher, Simon Schuster, actually dropped him in 1990 because of all of the mounting controversy surrounding the book and its graphic violence. And this is despite having paid him already a substantial advance. They ended up citing aesthetic differences. American Psycho was then picked up by Vintage Books and published in 1991, for which, by the way, surprise, surprise, Vintage Books copped a lot of shit, but I'd say it was completely worth it because it became a bestseller and a movie and a musical and a cultural touchstone. Bret Easton Ellis's other notable works include Glamorama, published in 1998, Lunar Park, published in 2005, and published in 2023, The Shards. When your soul is outsourced to dinner reservations and likes and skincare routines and dead-eyed smiles and looking good in public, what's left? Seriously, tell me, what's left? Are you even a person anymore, or are you just another mask in the crowd, another profile? So the verdict is obviously, and is it ever anything other than, go read the damn book! Bret Easton Ellis held up the mirror in 1991, and society in 2025 is still flinching. And if this video just went straight over your head and it just made no sense, no problem, buddy. Just say you gotta return some videotapes.
I've got to return some videotapes.
Comment down below, interact with this video, share it with everyone, because if you don't, if this video gets no engagement, do I even exist? Am I real? Also, yeah.
Like, share, subscribe.